All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'm gonna start by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto the Heavenly Father, the Most High, our Creator and our Power, who the world ignorantly calls God. His name is Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten Son, our Lord, our Savior, and our Deliverer, the Messiah, who the world ignorantly calls JC. His name is Yahweh Shai, called Halamla, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rechakodash, and double honors be unto the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone. Salutations, peace, blessings, and safety unto the hopeful elect. Keep a watchful eye, which is straightforward, straight to the point, and it means to be vigilant, man, to be circumspect, to stay. Well, let me say this: to be on your p's and q's, and to stay on your p's and q's. Watching and paying attention to the things going on in the earth. The current events, as the scriptures tell us to measure the times diligently in itself. All right, and what we're watching for are the signs. Okay, we're watching for the different signs that entail us being that much closer to the coming of Yahweh Shai. And the Lord is He has the angels very active in the earth. Bringing a lot of things to pass. Moving a lot of pieces on the board, and there's a lot of things happening simultaneously right now. And Esau, he got the usual distractions going, man. Esau, he loves pumping out distractions because he studied our people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Esau studied our people. He know what our people like. He know what catches their attention. He know what keeps their attention. And he know docile, keep us ignorant. One of the main things that keep our people ignorant is sports. In any form of entertainment, really, but especially when it comes to sports. Jake love sports, man, because Jake is naturally competitive. Even if they're not actually playing, they love just being a part of the competition, whether it be just having your home team, being on your side, repping your city. Jake loved doing that type of stuff, and Esau knows that. And Jake don't pay attention to the everyday events going on in the earth. And right right up under Jake's nose, Esau is stirring up war, man. We know it's the Lord using Esau, but nonetheless stirring up a race war. I seen a video not too long ago. You had it was a collage of videos, and it was a bunch of Edomites, all over the U.S. training. Whether they was doing martial arts or gun range training. Esau been doing that, but they've been a lot more active. They've been a lot more active doing that training, man. They've been doing martial arts. They've been practicing boxing, and they've been practicing at the shooting range. And there's judges and counselors and city officials involved, and these are all so-called white supremacists, people, purebred Edomites, man. And what they have in mind is getting ready. They're not just getting ready just to be ready for some foreign troops to invade. No, what they are saying is they're getting ready for niggas. They're getting ready for so-called black people because they're anticipating a race war. While majority of our people, because you got some Jake that do training, but it's nowhere near enough Jake's doing training with that scenario in mind, which it's not promoted. We're not encouraging Jake to go out there and start training and going to the shooting range, which is nothing wrong with that. If you want to get your training on, you want to learn how to shoot and all that, that's all good. But don't have it in your mind that you're getting ready to fight in this civil race war for the purpose of overcoming. That's not how we're going to overcome. We're going to overcome when Yahweh returns, and He's going to fight for us. We don't have to fight with arms, or we don't have to get weapons. That's not our fight. Yahweh said, if this was my kingdom, then will my servants fight. So this is not our time to fight. This is our time to be harmless as doves and wise as serpents, moving in the spirit, building ourselves up in the spirit. Okay. But just using the example you had, the whole situation that the track meet was the Edomite family raising a lot of money. Esau don't like that, but they always do it for one another. So they ended up giving that young dude Carmelo Anthony a all Edomite jury. So you knew how that was gonna go. It's not surprising. Basically, he got found guilty. I'm not exactly sure what just happened. I got service. My phone didn't overheat, but either way it go, I know. But as I was saying, simultaneously, while you have this whole um, verdict of the young kid Carmelo Anthony being found innocent, I mean, excuse me, being found guilty and being found guilty of murder and being sentenced. You also have this group that recently shot that 14-year-old Jake. I forget what state that was in, but footage came out. Video footage from different angles came out, and the evidence is there. Now, this footage came out after this group was found innocent, right? This Moabite. It came out after that dude was found innocent for shooting that 14-year-old boy. Now we understand, whoever perished being innocent. We understand that it was judgment at the end of the day, but it's a messed up situation because of how it happened. Which the Lord, through by way of the angels, led him into that store to receive judgment. The fact that it was kind of strange how he went in there, grabbed the waters, and then immediately put the waters back. It was kind of strange how he did that, but it was all for the purpose of him being shot at. But nonetheless, that was murder. That was cold-blooded murder, and um, they thought he was stealing waters, even if he was. Is it necessary for you to pull a firearm and shoot at somebody for stealing waters? Like that's that inventory. You're not gonna miss it. You can get that back. How much that water costs per bottle? Maybe what, 129, maybe $2.50 at the most per bottle. So it's like it was excessive force used, excessive deadly force at that. Because even in some states, man, they're very particular. Even in the situation of self-defense, right? Even if somebody is actively shooting at you and you hook them in their back while they're running away, you can be found guilty of murder. And this is, you know, it's particular with different states. I don't, like I said, I don't remember what state this was in, but the fact that he didn't even have a firearm or any weapon for that matter at all, and he was running away, that's murder. That means at that point you're hunting them down. You're you know, you're seeking them. So you got that situation of that group being found innocent. You got the Carmelo Anthony situation of him being found guilty, right? And if I'm not mistaken, they found I forget if it was a video or if it was some tweets, but there was some evidence prior to that situation going down of that young Edomite and some buddies of his talking crazy in a violent way against Jake, saying that they want to you know, cause harm to Jake, man. You know, being racist, being Edomites, and then going out of his way to antagonize that young Jake, only for him to be sent to the upper room. You know, but there was a similar situation with a young Edomite who I think he was also 17 years old. He stabbed his classmate, killed him, but he was let off. He didn't get found guilty of murder. So again, there's a race war being stirred up, and it's only a matter of time, man, before that guy Chud the Builder, which it's overwhelming evidence of him antagonizing Jake, going out of his way to incite violence to get something started. So it's only a matter of time before they let him out and let him off with my not minor but minimal consequences, because the Lord is stirring this thing up, man. This is division, right? The Lord said there's not going to be any peace, but rather division, right? A sword is being sent, right? There's division, dissimulation being stirred up in the earth right now. And the Lord wants it to be like that. He wants it to be division and you know, controversy. Everybody's not going to get along, man. And you got to remember as well that hatred between the woman's seed and the seed of the serpent, okay? That woman representing Israel ultimately. There's always going to be controversy, hatred, enmity between Israelites and Edomites until Yahweh shall return, man. So this is nothing new. You know, we've always seen Edomites get off. They're not in trouble as other men, okay? But Jake is distracted, man. You got the NBA Finals just passed, right? Jake all caught up in that, and immediately, right after that, you got the FIFA World Cup just started. Okay, so it's distraction after distraction after distraction, man. That's why there's a sport, a pro sport for every season, and when it's not a sport going on as far as a ball sport, you got fighting, you got boxing, you got UFC. There's always some kind of distraction filling the gaps, man. So you're constantly distracted, constantly occupied with vanity, and you're not paying attention to the serious things going on in the earth. You got, they said the Strait of Hormuz is pretty much inactive right now. There's pretty much no activity, no traffic going through the Strait of Hormuz right now, and we already felt the effects, or already are feeling the effects of that being blocked, which is particularly the fuel, the energy aspect of things. But Iran was also threatening to close off the Bab el Mandeb Strait, which is not just it's fuel, it's goods, it's everything, you know, that comes through, which is a large portion, a large percentage of what comes to America. So if that is to be blocked off, you know, or stopped, the effects of that will be much more um, much more harsh, because it's not just your gas now, it's your food, it's your goods, your clothes, your necessities, all your everyday things that will be affected. But Jake ain't paying attention to that. You ask the average Jake, do they even know what the Strait of Hormuz is? They're gonna tell you, hell no, I don't, what you talking about? They don't know what that is, let alone what's going on right now over there. Okay, you got the World War III still stirring up. The Lord is still making it hot. Okay, so it's a lot going on, man. It's a lot for you. I got my little ice pack, man. My phone always overheats. Mess me up. But yeah, man. You know, that's why we have to keep a watchful eye, and we have to separate ourselves from the distractions and pay attention so that we're not caught in the dark, caught off guard, naked, unclothed, right? We want to be found watching. Right? Let me start off with 1 Peter 5:8, right? This is what it's all about. It says, be sober, be vigilant. Okay, what does it mean to be vigilant? Bear with me 1 second. The actual definition of vigilant, right? This is on the Google AI view. My phone's lagging. Just bear with me 1 second, right? Because this is important, man. Right? Because it just said be sober, right? Which is not talking about um, not having a drink. And even when it comes to like I was mentioning, watching the sports and being involved in that, it's not saying you wicked or you're wrong for being a part of that. It's nothing wrong with having your home team or watching the finals or even watching the FIFA World Cup and all that. There's nothing wrong with that. But these people are invested. They're fanatics. They have energy invested into this stuff. You have people that are fighting and rioting, right? I remember years back, 2016, man. I remember being at the watch party, watching the Cavs playing the Warriors, man, and just seeing how invested people was. Now I was young, obviously I wasn't in the truth at that time, and I was down there downtown. Obviously that's my hometown, and it was exciting and all that, and you see how invested people was. When we won the finals, man, the city was turned, man. It was super active. Jake got to acting stupid. I didn't do nothing stupid, but I was down there and I was witnessing it, man. Jake was jumping on top of buses. I wasn't doing that shit. I was celebrating, but I'm talking about what I was seeing, man. Jake was like, it didn't get super crazy, but it got excessive. Jake was destroying shit, jumping on buses, jumping on cop cars, and just acting a fool because of the energy that was invested into those sports, man. That becomes damn near an idol, right? Sports teams become an idol to people because they invest so much energy and they invest themselves into it. It becomes an identity, right? Some people, they willing to shoot it out behind their team, their home team, and fight. There's been plenty of bang outs, plenty of shootouts, and just stupid activity behind sports teams, man. Right? Because there's the energy behind it. That's what it means to be a fanatic. Okay, we have to be fanatics for this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, right? Being fanatics to this truth. That's the truth, man. We have to become obsessed with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the scriptures, man, through Yahweh Shem Yahushua, through the Spirit. We don't become to be conformed to this world, but be transformed in the renewing of our minds. We may have been like that in the past, but we come out of that. So it's nothing wrong with being involved, but you're not invested, right? Just like when it says be sober, there's nothing wrong with having a drink. It's not really talking about physically being sober, but it does matter. You don't want to be a drunkard. You don't want to be excessive when it comes to drinking, because that can affect your walk as well. But also, it's really talking about being spiritually sober, which is staying on the right path, staying on the straight path, man. Only being involved in this. You're not all over there dealing with Egyptology. You're not over there in Christianity. You're not, all over the place in different religions, so-called. Okay? This is your only religion, your only devotion. Okay? Which is this truth, man. All right? But the definition of vigilant, it says being vigilant means being keenly alert. Right? Keenly means sharply, accurately alert, watchful, and carefully attentive to detect potential danger or problems. So that means you on point. Again, being on your P's and Q's and staying on your P's and Q's. Okay? And that's especially relevant to the times that we in now, man. Being keenly alert. It's so easy to get distracted, man. It's so many things that can distract you. It can be a woman, it can be alcohol, it can be social media, TV, entertainment, being out in the night, it can be the day life, going out all the time every day. It can be sports, it can be whatever. It's so many things to get distracted with. That's why it's a fight. That's why we have to stay balanced and pray to Yahweh Shem Shah for that balance. I have to pray to Yahweh Shem Shah for that balance. And you can never be balanced enough. We can always be more balanced. That's the thing. We can always be more balanced, man. But yeah, like I said, man, being carefully attentive, to detect potential danger or problems. That's also the job of a watchman. As a watchman, you have responsibility over those who dwell in the city. Okay, which ultimately, the beginning with the apostles on down, we are watchmen. We are spiritual watchmen. So we have a duty to pay attention to what's going on. And when we see things happening, we give that warning. And we filter those things through the scriptures of what the Lord said was going to happen, how they apply, how they are relevant to what's written in the scriptures. If it's not relevant, we don't deal with it. If it's relevant, we speak on it, and we filter it according to what the scriptures say. And we give that warning to Jake, whether they take it or not. But our job is to give that warning. Okay? Stirring things up. Jake don't even know what's going on. They're not going to say nothing. They're not going to give you a heads up. They know shit is about to hit the fan. Most of them anyway. You got some docile Edomites too, but you got majority of Edomites, they know what's going on. Jake is the one that's asleep, distracted, ignorant, dumb. Don't know what the hell going on, man. Right? So when shit hit the fan, Jake gonna be the one caught off guard. They gonna be the ones getting caught with their pants down, unawares. That day is gonna come upon them unawares, because they're not even looking for that day to come. They don't have the expectation for that to come. So there's no preparation for it. The best and the only way to prep and to not stock enough food, gold, silver, money, cash, having a bunker digged in your backyard, buying a container and burying it, making a little bunker for yourself, stocking enough food. No, that's not the way to prep. The way to prep is to get yourself right with Yahweh Shem Shah, getting in the good graces of Yahweh Shem Shah, because that is the way that we're going to be protected, man. Okay? The scriptures tell us that they that shall be saved shall be saved from the said perils, shall be saved from slacking. Let me grab it. This is 2 Ezra 9 and verse 8. I'll start at verse 7. Bear with me 1 second. Yeah, 2 Ezra 9 and 7. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, right? Those go hand in hand. Whereby ye have believed, right? The believers are the ones that's going to be incredulous. Shall die. Same chapter actually, but continuing on, shall be preserved, which is to be preserved, which means what? To be kept from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. So the Lord sanctified a certain number, which is the remnant, the elect. Okay, those are the ones that's going to be preserved. That's the grape of the cluster. And it said the Lord sanctified them for Him from the beginning. So it was pre-written who was going to be saved, who was going to be preserved from. All right, we back. We back. I don't know why this thing keep going out, man. But getting back to it, let me go back to 1 Peter 5:8 and finish it off. Right. It says, "Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour." Esau, he's that devil, right? He's always looking for some, particularly Jake. That's who he hunts. That's who he preys on. That's who he is seeking to get the advantage over. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, man. Jake, he's always seeking um, an opening, a weakness, a way to overcome you, a way to get you to slip, to fall. Any way he can get you to separate from Yahweh Shem Yahushua, he's going to take it. Any opportunity. Okay? So therefore what? We have to watch. As I read the definition of being vigilant, right? It said what? To keep that keen, excuse me, to be keenly alert, to be watchful, to be carefully attentive to detect possible or potential danger or problems. Again, as I said, that's the job of a watchman, but it's also the job of the sheep. You know, you gotta watch. You gotta look out for yourself, man. In the sense of watch your neck, watch your back. Just be walking out here being man. It's not the time for that. And it's a lot of the scriptures tell you that in the last days perilous times shall come, which means dangerous, but it also means uncertain. You never know what these crazy ass people was thinking, man. People are very unpredictable, especially right about now. Right? Proverbs 22:3. A prudent man, which is a wise man, foreseeth the evil. The only way you're going to foresee the evil, first and foremost, you have to be given the eye salve from Yahweh Shem Yahushua, that eye to watch, that mind to be in the right spirit to be watching. But you have to know what you're watching for. You have to know what you're looking for. You have to be watching. You ain't going to see something coming if you ain't looking for it, right? How you going to look for it if you don't know what to look for? That's why we got to stay grounded and rooted in these scriptures, man. All right. A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. The way we hide ourselves, first of all, what are we hiding ourselves in or at? In the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and his knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. This is our stability. This is our protection. This is our hedge. Beginning with the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay? This is our strong tower. This is a guide unto us. Okay? and how do you hide yourself? You stay vigilant. You don't involve yourself and indulge yourself in the ways of the world, whatever it might be. There's plenty of things you can name. The world is indulging in plenty of things, man. All right, separate your simple, pass on. You had a road crossing or a rail crossing, and that lever come down to stop you and letting you know it's a train coming. You have some people out there that are stupid enough to try to beat the train. You're not going to beat the train, man. You got to go the other way. You got to turn around and take a detour, right? There's danger down that way. If you want to pass on, you're going to be punished for your actions, right? The turning away of the simple shall slay them. You're going to be responsible for your own demise because of your actions. It was given to us to choose life or death. Whichever way you choose, it's on you. Okay? If you want to pass, even though you see the warning, you see the the cones, you see the big do not enter, danger ahead, and you just ignore it and you decide to keep going, that's on you. It says, but the simple path I will buy Shem Yahushai are riches and honor and life. Okay? The riches and the honor gonna come in due time. We ain't worried about that right now. But what we want is life. Okay? Long life, prolonged life. Everything else gonna come in due time. That's what come with the kingdom. But what we concerned about is living, man. You see how much is going on right now. You see the rate of death is increasing in the earth. What you think is gonna stop or is gonna go down? No, it's gonna increase even more. And we don't want to be a part of that. We want to be saved from the said perils. Okay? So that takes what? It takes humility and the fear of the Lord. It said the fear of the Lord is his treasure. That's our treasure. Okay? Romans 13:3. Because the Lord has Esau working, man, and he's going to continue to use Esau as a utensil, a tool of punishment. But not for all Israelites, man, but for the wicked. Romans 13:3. For rulers are not a terror to good works, but to the evil, right? So the rulers who are currently ruling right now, the Edomites, Esau, Edom, the wicked, who's the whipping stick, the punishing instrument of the Heavenly Father. They're not a terror unto good works. They're not made for the righteous, right? For those who are seeking salvation and acknowledging the Lord and changing their ways, repenting. No, they're a terror unto the evil, the wicked. Those who love this life, who don't have any intention on changing and doing better. They moving without fear. That healthy fear of the Lord. That's who it's for, right? When it says in Sirach that death and bloodshed and strife and anguish and all those things were created for the wicked, and for their sakes came flood. Right? So those scourges are for them. Esau about to scourge the shit out of Jake too, man. He's about to come down with fierceness. Right? And it's gonna be the Lord's anger upon them doing it. Right? It says, wilt thou then be afraid of the power? Do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same. Right? So we're not to fear Esau, even though the Lord is using Esau and punishing through Esau. We're not to fear that. If we have a good conscience and if we're doing to the best of our abilities according to the Yahweh Bashem Shai's will, we're not to fear them. All right, it's the Lord that we have to fear. Praying that we are in his good graces and that we stay in his good graces, so that we can receive mercy when the Lord get to visit in the earth, man. Which he's doing, but he's going to do it much more. And we want to be passed over in the time of his judgment. All right, so that's why we have to do that which is good, and we're going to have praise of the same. For he is the minister to the Most High for thee, to thee for good. But if thou do that which is evil, be of the Heavenly Father, a revenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil. Okay, so that's who it's for. That's who Esau is being used to punish. The rebellious of our nation, man. The can't get right niggas. That's who the Lord is using Esau to punish, man. Okay. 2 Ezra 15 and starting at verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. All right, and that one people is going to be it's manifold, man. One people is going to be dealing with politics. You know, people standing for their different viewpoint on. Yeah, Esau fucking with my screen. But as I was saying, that one people standing up to fight against another is manifold, right? As far as the meaning, it's going to be people standing up for their viewpoint on politics, standing and fighting against each other. You're going to have people standing up for their viewpoint on religion, fighting against each other. People standing up with you know with their viewpoint on gender, fighting against each other. Okay, even you know the race wars. Okay, yeah, it's gonna be all type of different division on all fronts, man. Right, but it says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." This is anarchy. This is complete lawlessness. There's no more 911. You know, there's no more hierarchy. There's no more, um, you know, there's nobody to call. There's not gonna be no more structure, meaning no more law enforcement. Everybody gonna be doing what they feel is necessary for their survival. All right. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. There's going to be perimeters set up. Okay. Ultimately, there's going to be martial law soon. For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Right. And that's when it speaks about how, you know, hey, doth a man travail with child? Wherefore do I see every man with his hand upon his loins? Because there's going to be that much terror going on in the earth that men are going to be afraid. Some are going to be so afraid that their heart going to stop. Right? But there's going to be so many terrible things happening in the earth, unprecedented things that men are going to be terribly afraid. You can only imagine what the women going to be. All right? A lot of women are not going to make it. It says, "A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation." So this is going to have people in a state of panic, desperation, and just pure coldness. Because it's one thing to just, you know, have shit chaotic, but then you got running water, you got food, you still able to have your own your house to dwell safely in. But when that's taken away, right, you have no food, you're starving, but also now your life is in danger. You may be on a run, you may be having somebody seeking your life. You know, you have to fight off intruders, and all that together. You know, famine, civil war, danger, peril, wild beasts running through the earth. It's so much to worry about. That's going to have people just like F it. You know, people are going to just be doing whatever is necessary. So you got some people that are going to say F it, and they're going to want to cause as much destruction as possible before they take themselves out. And you have some people that's going to take everything that you got to try to survive by any means. Right? You're also going to have people eating people that's going to come back for lack of bread and for great tribulation. Okay? So in the meantime, 1 Thessalonians 5:1. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For your we have to go with it, we have to endure it. We're gonna be in it. But there's a saving, right? There's a standard that's going to be lifted up. Lord willing, we be of the elect. There's a standard. There's a out after all of this terrible shit that's about to happen. There's an out. He's not just going to be stuck in it, man. It says, but ye, brethren, it's like, yeah, take you as a thief. Ye are all the children of light. Ye are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night, nor of darkness. Therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. For they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. Okay, so let them be, he that is ignorant, let him be ignorant. If any man be ignorant, let him be ignorant. All right, Jake want to be ignorant. You got some people that if you try to tell them about current events, as far as like bad things going on, right, you still got a lot of pessimists that's gonna come as well, man. I ain't even mentioned that. You got a lot of pessimists that's gonna come. The Lord is gonna plague the earth, America, particularly, right? But the earth, you still got pessimists. Ignorance is bliss. Stop being pessimistic. It's not being pessimistic. We actually being optimistic, because the sooner these terrible things come, the sooner the greatest thing ever to come, right? Which is Yahweh shall return to set up the kingdom of heaven, which is our rest, our peace, our paradise. So the quicker these things come, the quicker the kingdom of heaven gonna come. So it's us being optimistic, okay? Hastening in the coming of the Lord. So, Jake, they don't want to hear the bad news, right? Like they say, oh, laugh now, cry later. They want to enjoy themselves. They want to turn up. They want to be, they want to be in a good mood. I'll deal with the bad news later, okay? But hey, let's get the ugly out the way first, because that's what's coming. All right. To Jake's surprise, verse 8. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for an helmet the hope of salvation. For the Most High have not appointed us to wrath, Slocky. Lord willing, I pray this lesson was edifying, and with that, I'm gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kakodash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone. Salutations, peace, blessings, and safety to the whole elect. A GTA, Bible, Ball, Kwame Sharala. Till next time, Shalom.